You might have grown up in a household where your mum was doing cooking for your dad and she was taking on those very stereotypical roles as a woman. And I think it's really important to notice how that instills ideas in you and maybe pressures on you. We always need to make sure that we're aware that we spend a really long period of our life soaking up the habits of our family members in a time when we were so impressionable because we were children. We're like sponges at that age. So I think it's really important to detach from the values we might have acquired unconsciously as a kid. You know, you've learned that, oh, okay, I can feel kind of special if a guy finds me attractive. Like, that makes me feel good in the moment. So you keep going back to that. But the point is you have to keep going back, because a guy complimenting you and saying you're attractive makes you feel good fleetingly. It goes very quickly, and then you have to ask for more and more. And it means you're constantly having to ask somebody else to make you feel good. Rather, I want you to be able to make yourself feel good. Hello beautiful people, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about how to liberate yourself from the internalized male gaze. If you don't know what that means, I'm going to explain in a second. I'm also going to be helping you learn to love yourself from deeper within. I think loving yourself is something that's quite hard to achieve as a woman in a patriarchal world. Just so you know, I've got some doggies in this room, so if you hear any weird sounds, it'll just be them. I've split this video into 2 bits, so make sure you watch till the end. So firstly, for those of you that are not 100% sure what the internalized male gaze is, it's basically when you view yourself from a heterosexual male perspective, rather than from your own perspective. It's like you've got these glasses on, and these glasses enable you to see yourself through a male lens. And many of us women, pretty much all of us, are attuned to men's needs. I think some of us are really good at kind of switching that off and forgetting about it and focusing more on what we want and what's going to make us happy. But it does take effort, because we live in a world that really encourages us to focus on what men want. Isn't it crazy that we'll get dressed sometimes not according to what we want to wear, what we'll find comfortable, what will represent us, but according to what we think men will find attractive and what men will like to see? That's a really good example of the internalized male gaze, waking up and being like, I think this outfit will make my boyfriend find me attractive, or I think this outfit will be flattering in terms of men are going to think, wow, look at her figure, so I'm going to wear that instead. What are you doing? Yeah, go over there. Good go. Another great example of the internalized male gaze, something that I've done that is a bit embarrassing to admit, if I'm honest, but actually we do it because we want to fit in and we want to feel good about ourselves and we want to feel worthy, and we tend to feel worthy as women if men appreciate us, because that's just the setup of this, you know, sexist world. We don't feel inherently worthy, we feel like we have to earn our worth. But anyway, I used to kind of sit in coffee shops and be very regimented with how I would act. I wouldn't kind of just let myself say the things I want to say and act in the way I want to. I would sit really, you know, posture good, pouting my face to make sure that I looked attractive. I was very focused on the men in the room and how they were perceiving me, rather than just enjoying the coffee shop environment, which I love now. It's so lovely to go to a coffee shop and to just be in your own little bubble and to focus on, you know, enjoying the taste of the coffee and enjoying the music and the atmosphere, but not feeling like you have to perform. That's something that us women do so much. There's so much performing. In this video, I am not trying to call you out and say, look at you, I can't believe you're doing this. I'm trying to say, look at what we have to do in order to feel good. Look at what we've done to kind of survive and feel successful in order to get close to that kind of comfortability that I think a lot of men feel. We feel like, okay, well, the best thing I can do is get him to accept me, and then maybe I'll feel comfortable like he gets to feel every day. It's really not our fault as the women. We live in a world that is really not designed for us. So of course we're going out of our way to try and fit in some way. But there is an alternative. There is an alternative, and that is self-validation rather than male validation. That is focusing on your passions and creating authentic friendships and being yourself. There is nothing more beautiful than just being honest with what's on your mind, dressing in a way that feels good to you, and living your life according to your values. That is beautiful. We don't owe men anything, we don't. But we do owe ourselves a chance to live authentically. You're not going to connect with people that are really going to make you feel special if you're pouting in a coffee shop and holding back on speaking your mind because you're trying to look attractive. That's not going to mean that you gravitate towards the right people, the people that are going to love you for who you are, the people that are going to let you be yourself. I'm very passionate about this topic. Anyway, let's go into some ways on how to stop worshipping the male gaze. So the first thing that I want you to do is to acknowledge it. And I think because you searched up this video, you are in the know. You're not ignorant. And my God, is that a gift to be aware and to also be curious. You're clearly curious because you're investigating through YouTube, through this video. And I encourage you to carry on that investigation. Keep questioning, why am I doing this? Why do I feel like this? Why do I want his attention? How does that make me feel? Why do I want to feel like that? Can I feel like that in a different way that doesn't involve not being myself and trying to please a man? Can I shift? How can I shift? How long have I done this for? Question, question, question. I think that's something we need to do as humans, because a lot of the time we're led astray. You know, we want to buy all these material things. Why? Why do you want to buy all these material things? Oh, because it makes me feel like I'm successful. And when I feel successful, I feel like people will like me more. And if people like me more, then I feel worthy. Oh, I don't feel worthy of love. Oh, so that's the root of it. Get to the root of the issue, and then I think it will be so much easier to then shift into new, healthier habits. But we need to understand what is going on, why it's going on, and what it relates to like deeper inside of us. What childhood need is not being met? Quite often, a lot of us women are trying to gain that male validation because we want to feel worthy, we want to feel loved, we want to feel special, and maybe we never really felt that growing up. So it's just your inner child being like, make me feel special. And, you know, you've learned that, oh, okay, I can feel kind of special if a guy finds me attractive. Like, that makes me feel good in the moment. So you keep going back to that. But the point is you have to keep going back, because a guy complimenting you and saying you're attractive makes you feel good fleetingly. It goes very quickly, and then you have to ask for more and more. And it means you're constantly having to ask somebody else to make you feel good. Rather, I want you to be able to make yourself feel good. I want you to be like, okay, I'm not feeling great in myself at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to journal, or I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to go to this talk about mental health, or I'm going to go to this pottery class. These are the kind of things that make us feel good in the long run, because they make us value ourselves, and they make us talented and passionate. And these are things that we can really cling on to and we can really develop. So yeah, acknowledge how you are internalizing the male gaze. Journal if you don't feel comfortable enough to talk about this with your friends. But the thing that I would recommend is talking to a group of girls, because we can all relate so much, like we're all so similar. And when you tell your story, likelihood is one of your friends will tell their story too, of how they're trying to please the male gaze and about how they're not living authentically. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not silly. We're all doing this. We all want to thrive. And we've been taught as women that we thrive if we're beautiful, and particularly if men call us beautiful. We've been taught that we need to provide a service for men, to be beautiful for men. We've really been taught to not question and to just go with it and to be those objects that men can gaze upon. We've not been taught to value our, intuition and to follow a life that uniquely suits us. This is something else I really want to quickly say. You are unique. What pleases you won't please the next person. So do not put yourself in a box and try to be like, all the women that you see being kind of worshipped on television, the kind of, Margot Robbie's. Even though I'm sure Margot Robbie is a lovely, lovely person, she's different from you. She's had a different upbringing to you. She's probably got different values to you. She probably enjoys doing different activities to you. So you don't want to try and look and be like Margot Robbie. You want to try and be yourself. And the best way you can do that is by journaling, reflecting, and then sharing with your friends and just owning your truth. Self-reflection really is the first port of call, I think, when you're trying to shift away from that male gaze and trying to appeal to men. You really have to learn, like, what do I want? What do I like? What is me? Step one, understanding, reflecting, sharing. Read books about, this is my next tip, by the way. Read books and watch films that are directed by women. I could not stress this enough. Do you realise that most of the films you watch, unless you're like me and you're really proactive with watching films directed by women or gender non-conforming people, unless you're really proactive with it, you'll probably end up watching a film directed by a man, because most films are directed by men, which means we are constantly being fed the male gaze. We're constantly watching films that highlight men's dreams, men's desires, what men want from life, a male perspective. And we're seeing women through that perspective. You know, in so many films, we're seeing women just being kind of an accessory, as opposed to a fully fledged human being with a complex array of opinions and ideas and desires. As women, we are complicated, but I don't think we afford ourselves the space to be complicated. Well, because society doesn't afford us the space, but you deserve that space. So yeah, engage in media that is going to challenge you and that's going to open up your mind and that's going to allow you to appreciate being a woman. My gosh, like the amount of films that just are quite rude about women. Oh yeah, they're shallow, the dumb blonde, the slut. No, we have so much worth and value to bring. My God, like we're so caring and passionate and creative. There is so much that I want to be watching and hearing about in my books about, you know, women's experiences. I want to see that, and I think it's good as women to see other women living their lives according to what they want to do. I think it's really powerful to see other women doing their thing. I think it's so important to watch films that really showcase women in many different roles in life. It makes you feel like you've got options. It doesn't make you feel like you're stuck and that you just have to look perfect, get that partner, and then you'll be successful. Well, no, watch this film where this woman becomes a musician and she lives in a really swanky apartment on her own, and she teaches yoga classes, and look how happy she is. That's an option. Oh, look at this woman. Yes, she is married, but she's also like doing her own thing, and she's started her own book club. And it's good to see a variety of perspectives and to see women acing it in those different perspectives. It shows you that you have choice and options, and that you don't have to just follow this very narrow path that we're kind of spoon-fed from a very young age. The last thing that I want to say about not worshipping the male gaze is be very aware of what you are seeing around you. You might have grown up in a household where your mum was doing cooking for your dad and she was taking on those very stereotypical roles as a woman. And I think it's really important to notice how that instills ideas in you and maybe pressures on you. We always need to make sure that we're aware that we spend a really long period of our life soaking up the habits of our family members in a time when we were so impressionable because we were children. We're like sponges at that age. So I think it's really important to detach from the values we might have acquired unconsciously as a kid. Do I want to be like my sister? Do I want to be like my mother? Or do I want something different for myself? Do I need to actively say to myself, it's okay that you don't want to have this job and go down this route and get married. It's okay that you don't want to get married and that actually you don't really fancy having kids and that actually you really want to start a fashion business. That's great. I think it's really important that we challenge what's normal. Conforming to traditional gender roles won't always feel good. I think there are some people that might love that and that's great. But if you're not that person, you don't have to do that. If you grew up seeing female figures bow down to the men in their lives, there's no wonder that you're kind of worshipping the male gaze and men and prioritizing their needs over your own. It's what you've learned, it's what you've been surrounded by, and actually that is everywhere. It's in the films we watch, it's in the music we listen to, it really is surrounding us. I just want you to know that there is that pressure to conform and to be this beautiful woman that all men love. There's this real pressure to reach that standard and to be the kind of like wifey material girl. And if you've been trying to kind of live up to that standard and it hasn't felt good to you, there is another path. You can listen to that voice inside your head that's saying, God, I'm really interested in feminism. You can listen to that and be like, right, I'm going to start reading books on feminism. And then maybe I'm going to start a group, a society in my area and connect with other women and share our stories. You can listen to the little voices in your head that are curious about things and follow that. And that will mean you meet like-minded people and you pursue a job that you're really passionate about maybe. And I think that will mean that you feel in true alignment with your authentic self. And that will then facilitate you leaning less on men to make you feel good and you leaning more on yourself to make you feel good. Second half of the video, mastering, adoring yourself. This is something I think as women particularly, I just think actually everyone struggles to love themselves. It's really hard in this world. There is a lot of pressure to be these extraordinary people that are rich and beautiful. There's so much pressure on achieving these things that actually inherently we don't really feel strongly about. I don't want to speak on behalf of anyone, but it doesn't really speak to me. Being really rich, I'm not like, oh yes, that is my path, that is what I need to do, that is my mission in this life, to be rich and beautiful. It doesn't light me up. It doesn't make me feel motivated. It demotivates me. The thing that lights me up is creating videos for YouTube and making other women feel valued and connecting with animals. Those are the things that just make me feel like I've got so much to do in this life and so much I'm excited to do. It makes me feel really proud of myself and it allows me to be very self-loving. When people don't want to be around you, men, people you fancy, friends, maybe even family, when they don't want to make that effort, don't force them. Don't tell yourself that there's something wrong with you and that you need to change. Some people are blind to beauty and you've just got to feel sorry for them. Poor them, they're not going to have you in their life. Stop pointing the finger at you and being like, there's something wrong with you, you need to change, you need to do this. And rather be like, I'm enough. Be kinder with yourself, with your thoughts and your mindset. Accept that some people are not going to appreciate how wonderful you are, but that's their loss. Accept that not everyone is going to like you. And make sure all the time you tell yourself, people are lucky to have me in their life. I am caring, I am kind, I am fun, I am creative, I'm an inspiring person to be around, I'm an angel. People are lucky to have me around. The words that you utter to yourself every day shape you. They shape your idea of self. You need to make sure that you believe in yourself and you believe that you're a beautiful person to be around. You must believe that. Otherwise, you're just going to keep putting up with the bare minimum and people that don't treasure you. You're going to keep inviting in not so positive presences into your life. You're going to keep people around that don't appreciate you and you're going to feel worse about yourself. So you need to start off by saying, I'm great. I'm such a good person. I give these relationships my all. I'm very giving and I'm a very good listener and I'm very intuitive, and all of these characteristics about me make me a good friend, the kind of friend that I'd want around. So if that person doesn't see that value in me, then that's okay. They can go and find someone who better suits them and I'll do the same. There are people out there that will appreciate you. There are. If you've not been lucky with friends and maybe with partners, I'm so sorry. There's nothing more painful than feeling like someone doesn't want to spend time with you, or when they do spend time with you, that they don't really care and they're not really present. Like, that's really painful. But you've just got to realize that some people are blind to beauty. And you've got to realize that you are beautiful. And I don't mean beautiful, oh, look at your lips, look at your hair. I'm sure you are beautiful on the outside, but you are internally beautiful. And that's what makes people attracted to you. Internal beauty keeps people around. External beauty may make people look at you, but it doesn't mean people are going to keep showing up and being there for you. So yeah, say to yourself, I'm internally beautiful, and that attracts people. My second tip for developing that deep self-love is I want you to stop focusing so much on your outer layer. Yes, it's fun to dress up that outer layer and to put makeup on and to make yourself, feel pretty on the outside. That is fun, and I think that can be quite creative, and I'm not telling you to stop doing that at all. Have fun, but at the same time, don't tell yourself, I need to look good in order to get into a relationship, in order to keep people around, in order to be enough. Your body is just the home for your soul, and your soul is the thing that is going to attract people that are really going to appreciate you. Your internal layers are far more exciting than your external. You must tell yourself, my body is just the outer layer. It's a thing, it's exciting, it might entice some romantic partners to kind of come my way, but the thing that's going to keep people around and the thing that I can work on and the thing that's within my control is my inner layers. My personality, my mental health, my frame of mind. And do you know what's so stunning about that? You can always change and shift and grow internally. So if you don't feel internally beautiful right now, you can get there. Read, go and meet new people, challenge yourself, work on your mental health, go to therapy. Then you become internally beautiful. You do. You can change. How exciting is that? It's within your control. The thing that's not exciting, and the thing that I think a lot of us get stuck on, and the thing that makes us feel really bad about ourselves, is focusing on trying to change our outer layer. There's only so much change you can do on your outer layer. And if you focus on trying to perfect that and trying to change that so you attract people, you're just going to hit a dead end, and it's going to make your self-esteem plummet. So don't focus on changing that outer layer so much. Focus on changing the inner layers, on not changing, on enhancing and growing. I wrote this down on my notes, so I'm going to share it with you, but it's kind of funny. And I don't know if in the US you have Forever Rocher, so you might not understand what I'm saying, but I'm talking about a chocolate. So I want you to view yourself as a Forever Rocher. The outer layer is great of the Forever Rocher, yeah? But the thing that everyone loves about it is the interior. It tastes so good. That's what people want, and that's what people remember, how that inner layer tastes. And it's similar with us, people don't remember so much of, how you look. People never really forget how you make them feel. That tends to stick in people's minds. If we focus on trying to be the best version of ourselves, on being kind, on being passionate, on being motivated, then we really get to feel a sense of achievement. If we focus on trying to look perfect and be perfect and attract men, I think we'll feel disappointed quite a lot and quite unhappy with ourselves, because a lot of that is out of your control. You want to be proud of yourself, don't you? You want to feel good about yourself. The one way you can do that is by focusing on learning and improving your skills and being a better friend and finding new ways to communicate with people that are going to make people feel heard and special. Healing, working on healing is the best thing that you can put your attention to, and helping others heal. We can level up how we act, but there's only so much you can change about your appearance. Okay, my last tip, which is arguably the one I'm most excited for, is you need to start treating yourself, taking yourself out and doing the things that you want other people to do with you by yourself. So if you're always waiting on other people to experience life with you, that means you're constantly having to wait on other people to be ready. That means that you're constantly going to be worried about whether someone's available. I really do think that makes you kind of feel stuck. This is something that I'm learning at the moment, and I'm trying to get better at treating myself and taking myself out for a coffee or buying myself that book that I really like, and just being proactive with life and not waiting for someone else to just do it all with me. Because I think when we wait on other people to treat us and to experience life with us, we just lack that independence and we feel out of control. What I think is so beautiful is that You can just decide right now, if you've got the time, obviously, and you're not working or whatever, you can just decide to go and treat yourself now. You don't have to wait on anyone else. And when you're not waiting on anyone else, I just think you become so much less resentful and frustrated and short-tempered. This is something that I noticed even the other day. Usually I wait on my partner to come with me to a coffee shop or to go for a walk with me. And the other day I was just like, I'm gonna take myself out for a coffee. It just felt really good taking myself to that coffee shop, doing a bit of work on my laptop, chatting to the people in the coffee shop. It just felt like I could then come home, see my partner, and then kind of be like, oh, what should we do? And be a bit more easygoing with everything, not like, I need to get out of the house, we need to go and do this. Because I'd already done that for myself. And I also just think that improves our relationships too, and it puts less pressure on our relationships. When you can fill up your own cup, you have a bounce in your step, you enjoy your life more, and you take the pressure off the people around you. Don't wait on anyone to experience life with you. I really hope that you feel like you've got something from this video to kind of move forward with, and I hope you feel hopeful. And also I think it's worth me mentioning that I do Decentering Men and self-love coaching. I have a program with some resources, kind of meditations, journal prompts, some fun activities that I did to heal my relationship with myself and to kind of decenter men. I will put the details in the description box, and you can email me, ask me any questions. There's no stupid question at all. You can ask me whatever. Thank you so much for watching.